Hi everyone, this is Mayu Tuntiak, shamanic practitioner. I'm calling from Amsterdam, and here we have Marco Tuna, that a shamanic practitioner and shamanic apprenticeship of Tsunki, our master, speaking from Berlin. How are you, Tuna?
Hi, Mayu. Nice to be here with you. And I'm calling from Berlin, yes, and I'm apprentice of Francesco Tsunki de Giorgio since 10 years ago. It was 2010 when I met him the first time, and I think that we have a lot of stories regarding shamanism to share with a broader audience.
Tell me, just as a start, tell me how you uh, started this journey. Why did you get involved with shamanism, in particular with the shamanism
Mm.
of Tsunki?
Actually, to tell why I need to go back a little bit to my
Mhm.
childhood because I grew up in a village in the mountains in the Alps in Italy,
Okay,
and at 1,600 meters above the sea level. So
beautiful.
the last village of the valley, very close to nature. And
Mhm.
I've always cultivated a lot of relationship with nature. And since that I was a child, 6, 7 years old, I wanted to run away in nature alone, and spend time between the trees. And also, I was fascinated to go in nature in the night. It was
Mhm.
really scary for me at that point, at the moment. I was thinking that a bear was jumping out of the forest and so on. But the attraction to go there was always
Uh,
really strong. And then when I was kind of teenager, I started to feel a lot of colds and also an anxiety because something was missing. I was having the feeling that in nature I was connecting to something more, which I
mhm.
was sure that was there, but at the same time I could not reach it through like the education that our society is giving us, or through literature that we have available, or through philosophy. And
Mm.
so I've started a search that lasted for some years. As I was mentioning, looking into philosophy was not giving me the answer that I was to the question that I was feeling
Mhm.
pressing inside myself. And suddenly it was like really to have a burning fire on my chest that was making me to suffer, basically, to suffer for something that I didn't know,
Mm.
you know and then this feeling obviously became stronger and stronger. And then my dad is an archaeological ethnographer, scholar. So I grew up with a lot of books regarding ancient populations and indigenous cultures at home, and I was reading them. And I was thinking, this is really what I'm looking for. But
Okay.
at that moment, I thought, this is completely lost. This is a knowledge that has been wiped out by Western culture that have conquered this indigenous population and destroyed their traditional lifestyles and
Mhm.
cultures. And therefore, I was really sorry and told that we lost forever that kind of contact to nature, to the spiritual world, and so on.
Mhm.
And suddenly, which is like actually very funny, my dad, at that time I was studying in Trento, is the city of my of the region where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
And my dad told me, go to a special library that he knows there and buy a book for me. It's called Shamans by Graham Hancock. So I bought this book, and I was not going to back home of my parents constantly. So this book remained with me for a few weeks. I started reading it, and Hancock obviously is an Western academic therefore was approaching the world of shamanism, of psychedelics from a Western perspective. And it was incredible in the example that he was mentioning, how he was showing that all people that are approaching, for instance, ayahuasca and so on, are having similar experiences. And these experiences were totally resonating with me, even if at that time I didn't have the experience with ayahuasca. But it was completely reasoning, and it was, for me, was totally natural. It was like something that I had already lived, that was simply a little bit buried inside myself.
How old were you at that time?
2020.
Okay.
And then during the same days, those weeks that I was reading this book, a friend of mine came and told me, wow, my mom invited me to a shamanic ritual with a shaman, and it has been incredible, so ancestral, so powerful. And that actually, the mom was Angela, and that you know,
Yeah, I
Angela.
know her. I know her.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
The guy was Stefano, and the ritual in question was the search of the animal of power, how it was
A
conducted
quest.
years
Quest
ago.
of
Yeah,
a power animal. Yeah.
yeah, and as I say, incredible, because I was trusting this friend of mine, and he was feeling enthusiastic about this experience. Therefore, I say, wow, I really need to meet a shaman. I could not believe in Europe, you know, and so I've started reading the website of Tsunki, Il Tamburo dello Sciamano,
Yeah.
and eventually. Few months after, there was an open ritual organized by Tsunki, and I
Public one. Yeah.
yeah, and it was basically a medicine wheel. That has been like the first time that I've practiced shamanism with Tsunki. The first time that I met Tsunki, I had like already quite powerful vision that first time, and I felt this is my place immediately.
Oh, really?
And I at that time I also didn't know what was implying, you know, to do shamanism, and now what? And so I also asked Sunki, can I talk to you in private? And I said, I don't know why I'm here, you know, I'm like searching for something, and I feel that is the right place. And I was having the feeling that people approaching shamanism were all having troubles, like health issues or something like that. And I say, I think that I'm fine, but still I want to be here. And he told me, that's not a problem. The spirit will show you the way. And then I went back home, and that it was in September, no? And then started to happen a lot of stuff like spontaneous visions. Um, or at that time, I was snowboarding, and I had some crashes where I was losing consciousness and having visions. And
That's when you lost your mind, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could be connected. Yeah, but basically, I felt that something was changing.
So
Um,
sorry. It's very
yeah,
interesting what you say. Just so you mentioned spontaneous visions. Maybe can
yeah.
you elaborate on that and tell me a bit more what you mean with that?
That you A spontaneous vision is simply when you are not trying to alter your consciousness positively to get a vision. A vision, we use the term vision in general, not only for something visual, but we speak about vision in shamanism about different sensation, a changing consciousness, a
Yeah.
changing experience in the body, noises, smells, sounds, everything, you know.
Okay.
But that is not related to the usual experience of reality that you are having. So when I was like doing normal activities such as snowboarding or studying for an exam, then I will tell about that one because it's a fundamental experience. My consciousness was changing, and I was seeing things that normally I could not see, or feeling things that normally I could not feel. And also the way that I was interacting with reality, with people, with also the sport that I was loving the most, snowboarding, was changing, and I was feeling different. Then it happened like in the spring. This went on all the autumn and the winter. Then
Correct.
in spring, I was studying for an exam of math. At that time, I was studying engineering, and I remember that afternoon. I was sitting on the table studying, and suddenly, bam! I went completely out of this reality.
You didn't
I
take
found
anything, right? So you didn't
No, I didn't.
eat,
I was just
didn't
studying. Maybe
smoke.
that was like was boiling my head, you know. But
You were so bored that you started to get to run away of this reality.
I was desperate. I wanted to escape from that exam. No, but except for that, I didn't take anything. It was after lunch, 2 hour after lunch, and had lunch with my family and so on. I was out from here completely. And I've experienced what then Tsunki called the other reality.
Okay.
And in this experience has been so powerful that there was a sort of infinity inside there, was out of the time, out of the space, and all my securities on what we are, what the world is, reality is, and so on,
Right.
all down, went in pieces in 1 second, in this experience. I came back and I say, holy shit, what I'm doing now. You know, I was freaking out. I spent hours on my bed with the head in the pillow, crying or laughing.
Okay.
According to how I was looking at this experience, I was very happy because things that were concerning me disappeared, but also what I was loving was not the same as before, and I was completely lost. It's like someone is putting you from like the ground in the middle of the sea without any reference point.
Sorry,
So
you mentioned, you say what
yeah,
you were loving wasn't the same anymore.
no, everything was changing. No, so also like the bad things, like things that make you suffer, change of perspective, and you can deal with that in a better way. But also the things that you are attached to are different.
But
So you,
this only during this right after this experience,
yeah.
or okay,
Then obviously you come back a little bit more in your usual state. But this was so shocking that, as I said, I was really freaking out. So I called the mom of my friend, the one that I mentioned before,
Angela? Yeah.
Angela, and I said, "Give me the number of Tsunki. I need to call. I need to talk to him." I called Tsunki, and I was super excited. It's happening this and this and this to me, and with his like classic style, he said, "Yeah, that happens." No, how that happens, you know, I'm really like going crazy. They say, yeah, it's happening sometime. It's the experience of the other reality. And I say, what do I have to do now? And this point was something like Matrix, you know, Matrix, because he told me, or you pretend that nothing happened and you go on with your life,
The blue
or,
pill,
yeah, or you deepen it and you
the red
learn.
pill.
Yeah,
You took and you decided to take the red pill.
for sure. I say, how can I forget something like that? You know, it will haunt me all my life. And also because this was really what I was looking for, because it was bothering me sincere. It was like a river pushing behind on my
Right.
back and pushing me towards something. So I say, yeah, I want to deepen what this experience, understand what is going on. And he told me, okay, come like soon we will organize a ritual in the forest in Switzerland. So come and remain in contact. Stay. He told me like 3 times, stay in contact. And then I went there. I've done this ritual with him 3 days in the forest. And the last day, I
Do you
told him,
remember what ritual that was?
yeah, the animal of power again.
Power animal. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, I've asked him, I don't want to do shamanism once in a while, you know, coming as I was seeing people doing like that. No, they were coming once, then for 2 years, not anymore. I want to become a shaman myself. I told him, I want to become your apprentice. And he told me, Really? So come back to Switzerland next week at my home. Therefore, the week after, I drove to Switzerland. I went to his village where he was living at that time. I went to ring at the door. No one was answering. And then I called him at the phone. No one was answering. I said, "What's happening?" You know, I came like 500 kilometers to visit the shaman, and then so I went in the forest to have a walk for 1 hour or so. I went back. I went. I was ringing at the door. He welcomed me. He was together with his wife, Francesca, and we spent the entire afternoon together. He told me about his apprenticeship. He brought me upstairs. You remember where he was having like the sacred room?
Yes,
Like
yes,
the
of
one
course.
upstairs. Yeah, I was there. He brought me upstairs. We sit there on the carpet. He told me about his apprenticeship, how he started. He was telling me a
Nice.
lot about his first master, the Lakota medicine man, and especially about the abuelo. And he told me, "Are you aware that?"
Is Abuelo is from is Shuar, right?
Yeah, the Shuar old shaman, Vicente Hua. He was like a very famous and powerful shaman of the Shuar people. They are a population living in Ecuador, in the east of Ecuador, and close to the border with Peru as well.
So
Uh,
Tsunki had two masters. You're telling me
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Yes.
And but he became shaman with the second master, with the Shuar one, where he studied with him for something like 8 years.
Yeah.
And but we can talk about the masters of Tsunki in another time. And then he told me, "Are you aware that this is like the most challenging thing that you could do? That you will suffer a lot. You will require a lot of discipline. Will require a lot of courage." And it will be an enormous challenge. And they say, at that time, I was just excited about that. I say, yes, I was just looking for this challenge, you know.
You were young and naive,
Yeah, young and stupid for sure. Yeah, but
and full of energy, and say, "Yeah, I can conquer
yeah,
the world. I can do it. I can do it." But then
for
when you see
sure,
things,
for sure.
uh,
And so he gave me also a little gift that I still have, that was like sealing the beginning of the apprenticeship, and but I cannot say what it is. Um, um, and then we talk about dreams. I had dreams in the nights before that were referring to this encounter and to some stuff that would have happened in the following months at the beginning of my apprenticeship. And then he was telling me already, like, you see, in the way that you perceive things, you are so close in your individuality. You understand the dreams, the fact that you are here, etc., only in relation to yourself, and not in the role that you can have in the circle, in the shamanic group, and so on. So I think we talked for 3-4 hours, and then he told me, "Okay, ciao," and I went back to Italy. And I didn't know what was happening. He didn't tell me, "We do this one, we will meet again." So no, nothing. Therefore, then I've started following like the normal open rituals where everyone is welcome to join, publish on the website. And once, sometime he was calling me at his place, telling me, "I need to see you." And I was going to his home, and I was practicing certain exercises, shamanic journeys, and practices alone together with him. Then obviously we went on, and 1 year after, there has been like the initiation to ayahuasca, and
okay.
that has been also like a big turning point. And then the first travel to Australia in the wild, with my
Mm.
first Arutan quest, and the rituals in the desert, in the rainforest, on the coast, on the wilderness of the west
Mm.
coast, together with the spirit of the reef. That we can talk also about this in other occasions. But
Yeah, I
this
think
was
we can go on
the
for.
starting of my apprenticeship, and how I met Tsunki.
So you
And
started from the get-go. So your decision, you just joined one of the rituals, and you said, "Yes, I want to become a shaman." This is what happened, right?
yeah, yeah,
Almost, yeah.
yeah. But I was feeling since a long time,
Mm.
it was that was only the catalyzer and opportunity to say it, but I was simply feeling it, and I don't know why. If I'm looking back, it feels like that something took me and made me to do that, because
Mm.
there was not like a reasoning behind it why I wanted. I didn't know why I wanted to do it. I just follow a bigger force than me,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
force bigger. Than me, sorry, yeah.
And so, just to summarize, when did you start this journey? In
In
10 years ago?
2010, 2010,
2010.
yeah.
So it's almost
I, almost
11 years.
11 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that in September it will be 11 years that I know Tsunki.
Do you think this path has really changed your life?
Completely, completely.
Completely, yeah.
But it
Mm.
started changing already with that experience that I was mentioning. I could not deal with my normal life in the same way. And I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe people beside me realized that something was changing, but not much. But for me, like the first 2 years of apprenticeships have been crazy, because
Mm.
it's like that you are brought out of this world
Mhm.
back, and you need to learn again how to interact with it. So
Mm.
you restructure the social interaction in a totally different way, and many things that before were absolute, you grow up in that, and so that's the only possibility. You start to see them as possibilities, so you can choose, and this implies that you can make compromises. You choose
Mm.
which kind of compromises you make when you interact with society. What is your role? Which role are you playing? And you start to play a role much more, because you know, and you have access also to the other reality, where it's like a higher realm of consciousness, and it feels like much more real than when we are here, right?
Yeah.
And those experiences remain imprinted into your body, even if we cannot explain properly in words, because they are too big. They don't pass in this reality that is like more limited. And um, and therefore, yeah, it started changing completely everything.
Mm.
Obviously, like now it sounds like a nice story probably, but there were moments that it was traumatic. I say, what have I done, it's like a terrible trap. But that's normal, because when obviously you have experiences that feel amazing, when you open the consciousness, you feel, you encounter spirits, you encounter like incredible forces, and you feel good. But sometimes you feel terribly. But this is when the power of the experience start to work on your attachments, on your weaknesses, on your fear, and is keeping you on them until that you
Mhm.
win them. And this is they are like terrible moments, and they
Do
are
you?
important. And
Because
this,
yeah, yeah. Go ahead. I'm
no, I
question.
just want to, this give me the chance to say something to, now there are a lot of practitioners around
Ah.
that are doing it in a naive way. No, they go to the shop, they buy ayahuasca, or they took mushroom, they do the trip at home. That's very narcissistic. It's like you take from the trip often like only what you want to take, and not the biggest challenges. Or maybe you have even like bad trips and you don't know how to digest them. And instead you need to do all this path with a guide, with a master, and with that is introducing you to the allied spirits, to the spirits of the tradition that can guide you into this very, very powerful, also dangerous process. So it's
Yeah.
important to do it in the proper way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is what I want about to ask, but what you
Mm.
told me, yeah. So this is extremely important to have a guide, a physical guide, a master
Hmm.
in this process, because
Yeah.
recounts of people that take whatever kind of psychotropic plant or whatever, and then have so-called bad trips, and then they are confused, and then feel bad, and then also do really a bad advertisement in regards to all these practices. It's the world about that, right? So about these people, about this experience. So this is paramount. This is extremely important that there is some mass tradition behind.
Mm.
You know? Yeah.
Indeed, is fundamental.
Mm.
And also, a physical guide is actually always working with the spirit helpers. And when I had the experience when I was already like a healer, 5 years
Mhm.
after I've started studying with Tsunki, I became shamanic healer, and I was in the Netherlands. And there were people also knew that I was an apprentice of a shaman, and had do it by yourself experiences with ayahuasca, and they remain a little bit. Let's say, confused and detached from reality due to this experience. Detached because obviously they encountered the other reality, and they found that problems that in their daily life they have in the other reality, they are not there, or like they are not so important. So they were trying constantly to remain in that state, escaping from reality. So they were getting unrooted from their pragmatic life. And this is very, very dangerous. This is a danger of the spiritual search, when you want to detach from reality, and because you escape from things that you don't like, things that you don't like about you, about your life, about the challenges that life is posing you.
Mhm.
And but instead, when you have a master, or like a person that is know how to go to their other reality, come back and root again, just the physical presence of the person is helping you to root, because you don't have an excuse, a way to escape from it. No,
Yeah.
it's like a force of gravity. So when these people were visiting me, just in few hours, helping the presence and helping them to digest this experience was helping them to root back again, and live it in a different way. And it is not because, obviously, because we are magic. It's because we have like a alliances. We have, first of all, the training to do so, so you learn to do it. It's like an alpine guide that is constantly going to the Himalaya and is able to bring people there and bring them back alive, hopefully. And the same is like with this training. You learn to do it. You have like the power in your body that is used to do like this process, and and you can help the other person to do so. And
Mm.
another important thing is sharing, because if you live these experiences, but you are part of an environment that doesn't recognize the possibility of experiences life, you can think that you are going crazy.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Yeah.
so you really freak out. Instead, like being recognized, having like a person that has already lived many times those experiences, is giving you like an immediate sense of community, of easiness. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, you can
It's just
share your
fine.
experience. You can feel okay when you share something that most of the people don't understand, right? So,
Yeah.
and can give you a key to better understand this. Uh, I think we can stop it here for the moment, because this
Mhm.
what you're saying is extremely important. But maybe we can have a second chance to speak more about this, because we went
Mhm.
through different topics from your experience. So how you started, how you became a shaman apprentice, and we spoke also about. Of the importance of having a guide or a master
Mm.
to do all these things, right? Because you need to follow a specific path, otherwise you can get lost. But maybe this is a topic that we can better explore in another video. What do you think?
Yeah, we can indeed.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you very
thanks.
much. It has been like a pleasure to have this conversation.
Thanks a lot. So
Yeah.
I wish so that everybody that listened to this found it interesting. And well, till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.